Now in this lecture, we'll discuss some more standard functions in shortcut method, that is sin ax plus b, cos ax plus b, x raised to some positive power, that is x raised to m, then product of two terms, e raised to x into v and x into v. Okay, so one by one we'll discuss that method and then we'll see how to use that method to solve the problem. Okay, so the next second special function in the shortcut method is sin ax plus b or cos ax plus b. Now, in first shortcut method, we have e raised to ax. Okay. Now, if we have sine or cos term, then how to use this method? Wherever there is a d square in while finding yp, wherever there is a d square and sine ax plus b is there or cos ax plus b is there, then wherever there is a d square, replace it by minus a square. Okay, we just have to do the substitution. We just have to do the replacement, and replacement is for d square term. Okay, we replace d square by minus a square. We have to take a square of a with negative sign. It is not minus a whole term square. It is a square with negative sign. The only thing we have to check whether that phi of minus a square is not equal to 0. Okay. If you remember in last lecture, we saw if we are having e raised to ax, then wherever there is a d, we replace it by a. Okay, only simple substitution we do. We replace d by a or e raised to ax for shortcut method. But for sine or cos, what we have to do, wherever there is a d square, we have to replace it by minus a square. The only condition we have to check that phi of minus a square must be non-zero term. Okay. So for example, if we are having suppose 1 upon d square plus 1 sine 2x plus 3, 1 upon d square plus 1 sine 2x plus 3, then we replace d square by minus 2 square, that is minus 4. Minus 4 plus 1, it becomes minus 3. So that gives us the answer minus 1 by 3 sine 2x plus 3. So only replacement we have to do. Now, it may happen that after doing replacement, this phi of minus a square becomes 0. Then what to do? So whenever this phi of minus a square is equal to 0, then we have to take a derivative of phi, that is phi dash, and then we have to replace d square by minus a square. And if this first derivative is not equal to 0, then multiply, then take x into 1 upon that non-zero derivative sine or cos ax plus b. If you are having sine here, we take sine here. If you are having cos term, then we take cos here. Okay, so whenever this term becomes 0, take its derivative and then do the replacement. And if derivative is non-zero, attach 1x to it. Okay, same thing we have done for e raised to ax. If phi of a becomes 0, then we find phi dash. If phi dash is non-zero, we attach x. Yeah. And if this phi dash is also 0, then take one more derivative, that is double derivative, and then replace d square by minus a square. And if this double derivative is not equal to 0, second order derivative is not equal to 0, then attach x square. Okay, so like that we have to continue until we get non-zero derivative. And whichever order derivative is non-zero, that much power of x we have to attach. Okay, by that we can solve the problems based on sine or cos term. Okay, only thing we have to remember is there is a substitution for d square term, not single d. Okay, there is no substitution for single d for sine or cos term. If there is a single d term, we have to keep that d terms as it is. If you are having d cube, then we can write it as d into d square. Then do replacement only for d square term. Keep d terms as it is. If you are having d raised to 4, write it as d square square and then do the substitution. Okay. So if you are having d square, then only do the substitution. Single d terms, you keep it as it is. Okay. So what happened in some of the problems, after doing the replacement for d square terms, there may be the case where single d terms will remain. Then what to do with that single d? Okay, so if we simplify the terms and if we get such type of term 1 upon constant into d plus constant sine ax plus b or cos ax plus b, single d term remain over there. Okay, then there are two different ways to solve this. Either you can solve this by using general method, that is use the formula of d plus m1 and then simplify, that is by taking integration and all that thing. It becomes quite difficult. And other ways, try to bring d square over here. One way is you can bring d by multiply and divide by d. It becomes cd square plus e into d. Then replace d square by minus a square. But again here single d will remain. Then again to remove that it becomes difficult. So try to get d square over here without getting single d. And that we can do by doing rationalization. And what is the rationalization? Just multiply and divide by cd minus e. Okay, multiply and divide by cd minus e. And now use the formula. We know that x plus y into x minus y. Product of that is nothing but x square minus y square. Okay, so this term becomes c square d square minus e square. And now you can replace this d square by minus a square. And now what to do with this numerator term? After replacing d square by minus a square, this become a constant term, no problem with it. But what to do with this term? Just multiply this term by sine or whichever sine or cos, whichever term is there. Okay, so if you are writing sine, then it becomes c into d into sine, e into sine. And we know that d is nothing but a derivative. So we just have to find a corresponding derivative of sine or cos term. Okay, so if we have such type of c into d plus e, constant into d plus constant, then do rationalization. If you get only d, then 1 by d stands for integration that we saw in the general method. If we only have 1 by d, it is a simple integration. But if you have some constant into d plus constant, okay, or minus constant, just do the rationalization. By that, we can get d square term. And then do the replacement for d square as minus a square. Okay, so this is also very easy formulas. These are for sine and cos term. We just have to do the replacement for d square term. No replacement for single d. Single d we replace by a in the first shortcut method, e raised to ax. Okay, now I'll take a problem and then we'll understand how to make use of these formulas to solve the problem. So consider the first problem. Solve d cube plus 4dy is equal to sine 3x into cos x. The method is where to solution will be of the type yc plus yp. For finding the yc, we have to consider the auxiliary equation, and that will be taking all this term in the bracket equate it to 0. That is nothing but the auxiliary equation. D cube plus 4d equal to 0. Now find the roots of this equation. You can use calculator or directly also you can get the roots of it. Take d common. If you take d common, it becomes d square plus 4. D into d square plus 4. Then d square plus 4 equal to 0 means d square equal to minus 4. And then take square root on both sides. It becomes plus or minus square root of minus 4. And square root of minus 4 is nothing but imaginary number, that is 2i. So d equal to 0 is one root and the other roots are plus or minus 2i. Okay, so these are the three roots. Highest degree is 3, so we get 3 roots. 3 roots are 0 plus or minus 2i. Now check the nature of these roots. You can say that 0, this is the real and distinct. Single root is there, so this is a distinct root. And this plus or minus 2i, this is nothing but imaginary and distinct. Plus 2i minus 2i, imaginary and distinct roots. So use the corresponding formula for finding yc. For real distinct, we use the first condition, that is c1 e raised to 0x, that will be 1, plus. This is in the form alpha plus or minus I beta. Alpha is 0, beta is 2. So it is e raised to 0x, constant into cos beta, beta is 2, 2x plus c3 sine 2x. Alpha is 0, beta is 2. So making use of that standard formula of imaginary distinct roots, we get this yc. c1 plus c2 cos 2x plus c3 sine 2x. Okay, so there's a common procedure for finding this yc part. Okay, in the first lecture, we saw how to get this YC by checking the nature of these roots. Now we have to find YP. So YP will be, take all this term to other side. It become 1 upon dq plus 4d sine 3x into cos x. Now, just now we have discussed the formula for sine ax plus b or cos ax plus b. The single sine or single cos is there. But here we are having sine 3x into cos x. We are having product of two terms. But product of two terms, we have not taken any shortcut formula in shortcut method. So we have to simplify this term. And to simplify this term, we have the formula of sine A cos B. And the formula for sine A into cos B is half into sine A plus B, that is sine 3x plus 4, plus sine A minus B, that is 3x minus x, that is 2x. Okay, we have to convert this into the form where we can use standard formulas, where we can use the shortcut method. Shortcut method for product is not there, but single term we know, and we cannot separate it, just product we cannot separate it. So for that we are using the formula of sine A cos B, and that is sine A plus B plus sine A minus B. So that gives us this term. Now separate it out, take 1 by 2 outside, and apply this term to each term. 1 upon dq plus 4d, applied it on sine 4x and sine 2x. Now, for sine, wherever there is a d square, we have to replace it by minus of a square. Only thing is that term should be non-zero. So here d cube, we can write it as d into d square. If we replace that d square by minus 4 square, minus into 4 square will be minus 16. So it become d into minus 16 plus 4d. Is it 0? No, this is not 0 if we replace d square by minus 4 square. So we can do the replacement here. No problem with first term. Now in second term, we have to replace d square by minus 2 square, that is minus 4. So it becomes d into d square, that is d into minus 4 plus 4d. And that get cancelled, so it becomes a 0. And whenever after doing replacement for a d square term, if it becomes 0, then we have to find a derivative of it, and then we have to do the replacement. Okay, so here directly do the replacement, no problem. Here take a derivative of this term. So what happened? dq will be d into d square. D square is nothing but minus 4 square. Minus of 4 square will be minus 16. Okay, don't forget, we have to take a square of this with negative sign. It is not minus a whole term square. It is a square with negative sign. So it is minus 4 square, that is minus 16, one single d plus 4d. Replacing d by d square by minus 2 square, it becomes 0. So we take a derivative. And derivative of this term is 3d square plus 4. And when we take a derivative, and if we replace d square by minus a square, it becomes 3 into minus 2 square plus 4. That is non-zero. So in that case, we replace, we attach one x with it. First derivative is non-zero, so we attach x. Okay. Now simplify it further. Minus 16d plus 4d, that becomes minus 12d sine 4x. Replacing d square by minus 2 square. Minus 2 square is minus 4. It is 3 into minus 4 plus 4 sine 2x. Okay. Now here we get a single d. Now 1 by d stands for integration. So you can take integration of sine 4x, or otherwise you can multiply and divide by d. By that we get d square here, and here we get d. Replace d square by minus 4 square, and d of sine is nothing but cos, 4 cos 4x. So it becomes minus 12 minus 4 square minus 4 cos 4x. Or you can take 1 by d as integration. And integration of sine 4x is nothing but minus cos 4x divided by 4. Okay, so this can be simplified by any way. You can treat 1 by d as an integration and solve, or multiply and divide by d, because d plus or minus nothing is there. So it is just multiplying and dividing by single d, and then simplifying. Any way you can do it, it gives us the same answer. Okay, so simplifying it, taking this 1 by 2 inside, integration, considering 1 by d as integration, it is minus cos 4x by 4, minus minus it become plus, 12 4s are 48. This will be minus 12 plus 4, that will be minus 8. So it is minus x sine 2x by 8. Okay, so this is yp. And add this yc and yp, that gives us the solution. So y is equal to c1 plus c2 cos 2x plus c3 sine 2x plus cos 4x by 96 minus x sine 2x by 16. Okay, so carefully understand the method. Method is the solution will be of in two parts, yc yp. Yc will be the depends on the roots of auxiliary equation. Okay, first get the auxiliary equation, find the roots, check the nature. By using standard formula, we get the yc part. And for yp, we know the shortcut method for sine or cos term, single sine or single cos term. But if you are having the product, then use the trigonometric formulas sine A cos B and then separate them. And then simplifying it, replacing d square by minus a square if it is non-zero. If it is 0, then take a derivative. If first derivative is non-zero, attach x. Second derivative is non-zero, means if it is 0 and second derivative is non-zero, attach x square. Like that we have to continue. But here, first derivative is non-zero, so we attach single x and simplify it. That gives us the answer. Okay, so that was the second special function, sine or cos, in shortcut method. The next function in the shortcut method, that is the third function, is x raised to m, power of x. And that power of x should be positive integer. M will be some positive number. Then what we have to do? This is also simple. What we have to do, we just have to, if yp is 1 upon 5 of dx raised to m, then we just have we try to write this phi of d as 1 plus terms in d or 1 minus terms in d. Okay, we just try to simplify this phi of d. Okay, try to get 1 in that term, and rest of the terms should contain d. And then by using these formulas, 1 upon 1 plus z or 1 upon 1 minus z, expand this term. Okay, expand it up to this power m. Okay, what are these formulas? 1 upon 1 plus z, that is 1 minus z plus z square minus z cube plus dot dot dot. And formula for 1 upon 1 minus z is 1 plus z plus z square plus z cube plus dot dot dot. If you're having minus, then all the terms are positive with all powers of z. And if it is plus, then alternate plus minus with all powers of z. Okay. So it is very easy. Just try to write this phi of d in this form. 1 plus terms in d or 1 minus terms in d. And then by using these formulas, do the expansion. And how to do the expansion? We have to do the expansion up to power m. Now why up to power m? Suppose we have here x cube. Okay, suppose we have here x cube. Then if we go on taking derivatives of x cube, what is the first derivative of x cube? 3x square. Second derivative of x cube is 6x. Third derivative of x cube is 6. Fourth derivative 0. Fifth derivative 0. Sixth derivative 0. So if you go on taking further derivatives up to whenever the order of derivative and the power of x becomes same, up to that we get some term. But if you go on taking the further derivatives, if you go on increasing the order of derivative, then the power of x, all that terms will be 0. So no need to take the higher power terms than this given term, because all that terms applied on x raised to m gives us 0. Okay, so we do this expansion by making use of these formulas up to this power, and simplification gives us the answer. Okay, so we'll see how to apply this to solve the problem. So consider the first problem. D cube plus 3d square minus 4y is equal to x raised to 4 minus 3x square. Okay, now again the solution will be of the type yc plus yp. For finding yc, consider the auxiliary equation d cube plus 3d square minus 4 equal to 0. Find the roots of this equation. You can get the roots by using calculator, or you can also get the roots directly by using synthetic division. And that roots are 1 minus 2 minus 2. Okay. Now how to use synthetic division? If you are in quadratic equation, that roots we can get directly. But if you are in higher order equation, 3 or higher than 3, then we can use synthetic division. And the way to use the synthetic division is write down the coefficient of each term. Coefficient of d cube, coefficient of d square, coefficient of d, and constant term. Now what are that coefficients? Coefficient of d cube is 1, coefficient of d square is 3, coefficient of d is 0, and constant term is minus 4. So write all that coefficients in one row. Then by trial and error, try to find a value of d for which this equation becomes 0. Now how to do trial and error? We have to check it for +1, -1, +2, -2, +3, -3. Like that, you check it any value of d which satisfies this equation. So if you check it for 1, then what happens? 1 cube plus 3 into 1 square minus 4. 1 plus 3 minus 4, that gives us 0. So 1 is one of the root. So write down that root over here. Okay, this is the value which satisfies this equation, and this value we get by using trial and error. Okay, different values we have to check. Now after that we have to take this value as it is, this coefficient as it is, then product of these two terms over here, then addition of these two terms 4, then 4 into 1 here, addition of 0 and 4, 4 into 1, that will be here, and addition of these two terms 0. Okay, in synthetic division this last term has to be 0. If it is not 0, then somewhere we had made a mistake. Okay, so carefully write down the coefficient. If any term is absent, don't forget to write its coefficient, and by proper way get this one root for which satisfies this equation, and then use the synthetic division. So d equal to 1, this is one of the root. Now how to get the other roots? Making use of other than 0, whatever values are there, making use of that, we get another equation. What is that equation? Treat this as a constant term, take this as a coefficient of d, and take this as a coefficient of d square. So it becomes d square plus 4d plus 4 equal to 0. And d square plus 4d plus 4, that is nothing but d plus 2 whole term square. And d plus 2 square is 0, means d plus 2 equal to 0, and that will appear 2 times because of square. So d will be minus 2 minus 2. So the roots are 1 minus 2 minus 2. So you can use this synthetic division, or on calculator also you can easily get the roots. So at home you try out how to get the roots of this by using calculator, using equation mode, putting these all coefficients, use cubical equation and get these values. Okay, you can try that at home. Okay, or you can use this synthetic division, no problem. By both way you get the same roots. Now, which type of roots are this? One is real distinct and minus 2 is real repeated. So use the condition of real repeated and real distinct. So by using real distinct, we get c1 e raised to 1x. This root is repeated 2 times. So we have to take 2 arbitrary constants. So how to take them? c2 plus c3x e raised to that repeated root, that is minus 2x. Okay. So if you want, you can take this first, these two roots first, and then this. Then we get c1 plus c2 e raised to minus 2x plus c3 e raised to 1x. You can take these c1, c2, c3 in any order, no problem with that. Okay, all that combinations are correct. All that are correct answers. Okay, so properly remember that formulas for real distinct, imaginary distinct, real distinct, and real repeated roots. Okay. Now we have to find particular integral yp. yp will be 1 upon all this term, applied it on x raised to 4 minus 3x square. Now you can see that on this side we are having power of x. And for power of x, we try to write this denominator term in the form 1 plus terms in d or 1 minus terms in d. So try to get 1 somewhere here. Now there are different ways to get 1. You can write minus 4 as minus 3 minus 1. But if we write it as minus 3 minus 1, then except minus 1, every term should contain d. But minus 3 doesn't contain d. So splitting 4 to get 1 is not the convenient way. Because if we split 4 into 4 such that we get 1, then every term will not contain d term. And if every term will not contain d term, then while doing the expansion, there will be we get a problem because that term will be unending. Okay, so try to get 1 such that every term will contain, remaining term will contain d. And that we can do by taking this constant term common. Just take this minus 4 common. By dividing by minus 4, we can easily get 1 over here. So divide all this term by minus 4. Just take minus 4 common. If we take minus 4 common, this term become 1. And this divide by minus 4. That will be minus all this term by 4. Okay. So to get 1, take constant term common. That is the easiest way to get 1. And now use the formula of 1 upon 1 minus z. Treat all this term as z. And while doing the expansion, try to get the terms in which maximum power of d will be 4. And for this, maximum power of d must be 2. Okay, so use the expansion of 1 upon 1 minus z. Just consider the terms up to terms in which we can get the terms maximum up to power 4. If you are getting higher power terms, then higher order derivatives of x raised to 4 becomes 0. So no need to take the further terms. Okay, so do the expansion. Expansion of 1 upon 1 minus z is 1 plus z square plus z cube plus dot dot dot. Okay, now we want the terms up to 4 only. Next term is cube of this, cube of all this term. But what happen if we take the cube of this? Cube of this will be d cube, higher power than 4. 3 times square of this into this, that will be higher power than 4. 3 times this into this square, this term cube. All terms will be having higher power than 4. So we skip next terms. And in this, if you take d square, that will be of power 4. One of the term is of power 4. So we can take the square of this. Cube, higher power than both of this. So we skip that. Okay. Now open this bracket, multiply this x raised to 4 to each term, multiply this x square inside, and for this take the power up to 4 only, and for this take the power of d up to square only. Skip higher power terms. Okay. So simplify it. So if you open this bracket, what is the square of this? D cube square will be d raised to 6. That will be higher power than 4. So we skip that. Middle term will be 2 times product of these two. But what is the product of these two? D cube into d square. That will be d raised to 5. Higher power than 4. Skip it. Last term square. D square is d raised to 4. Same power. So it will be 3 square d square is 9d square by 4 square. That is 9 d raised to 4. Same power x raised to 4 divided by 4 square. Okay, so first term into x raised to 4, no problem. D cube into x raised to 4, that also no problem, divide by 4. 3d square x raised to 4 by 4, keep that. D cube square, higher power, skip it. D cube into d square, that is also higher power than 4, skip it. Last term square, same power, so take that. All rest of the terms are higher power terms, so we skip all the terms. Okay, got it? Just carefully do the expansion. And while doing the expansion, don't forget to take the terms up to this power only, skipping all higher power terms. Because if we take higher power terms, then that corresponding derivative will be 0. So we are skipping that. Minus 3 is, we can take constant outside. 1 into x square can keep it. D cube x square 0. Higher power derivative of x square is 0. 3d square by 4 x square, no problem, we can take that. D cube square higher power than 2, skip it. D cube into d square higher power than 2, skip it. D square square higher power than 2, skip it. All rest of the terms are higher power than 2, so we skip that. Okay, for x raised to 4, d raised to 4 we can take, but for x square we have to skip that term also. Okay, cube term, raised to 4 term we skip for x square. Okay, now take a derivative. First derivative of x raised to 4 is 4x cube. Second derivative will be 12x square. Third derivative will be 24x. And the fourth derivative of x raised to 4 is 24. So take the corresponding derivative, substitute that values. Double derivative of x square. First derivative is 2x and double derivative will be 2. So put that values and simplify. Okay. So this become 24x by 4, that will be 8x. This will be 3 into 12x square by 4, that will be 9x square. This will be 9 into 24 by 16, that is 27 by 2. This x square, and this will be 2 into 3 by 4, that will be 3 by 2 into minus 3, that is minus 9 by 2. And now simplify it, collect all constant terms together, collect all x square terms together. So that gives us, and multiplied by minus 1 by 4. So that gives us minus x raised to 4 by 4, minus 3x square by 2, minus 2x, minus 9 by 4. And then add this CF and YP, that gives us the solution. So y is equal to C1 e raised to x plus C2 plus C3x e raised to minus 2x minus x raised to 4 by 4 minus 3x square by 2 minus 2x minus 9 by 4. That is the solution whenever we are having power of x on right hand side. Okay, so carefully understand this method, what to do. Power of x in right hand side, try to get 1 in the denominator, and to get 1 take the constant term common, and after getting that 1 and terms in d, use the formula 1 upon 1 minus z or 1 upon 1 plus z, whichever terms are there. Do the expansion, use that standard formula, do the expansion up to this power of x. Any higher power terms, then skip them. And then simplifying it, all that higher power terms become 0. So we are not writing plus dot 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 here because rest of the terms are 0. So simplifying it, we get this term, and addition of ycyp gives us the solution. Okay. So this was the third method by which we can find yp. Then next method is e raised to x into v. If you are having the product of two terms in which one of the term is e raised to x and the other term is any function of x. The problems in which either we have single e raised to x or some single sign term or single cos term or x raised to m, single terms are there. But in this we are having the product of two terms in which one of the term is e raised to x. Then the formula for that is 1 upon 5 of d e raised to x into v is equal to, we can take out e raised to x outside e raised to x, and in that case we just have to replace d by d plus a. Wherever there is a d, replace it by d plus a, 1 upon 5 of d plus a v. And then by using the previous method, generally this v is either sine, cos or x raised to m. Then by using the previous shortcut method, this rest of the part can be solved. Okay, so product of two terms, one of the term is e raised to x, then take that e raised to x outside by replacing d by d plus a, and then simplification gives us the answer. Okay, so consider the problem on this. D square minus 1 y is equal to sin hx into cos 2x, hyperbolic sin a into cos 2x. Again, y will be yc plus yp, complementary function plus particular integral. Write down the auxiliary equation, d square minus 1 is equal to 0. Then find the roots of it. D square minus 1 equal to 0 means d square equal to plus 1, and d will be plus or minus square root of 1, and square root of 1 is 1. So d will be plus or minus 1. And what are these roots? These roots are real distinct. So use the formula of real distinct roots. Yc will be c1 e raised to 1x plus c2 e raised to minus x. Okay, so this is yc part. Now go for yp. Yp will be taking all this term to other side, 1 upon d square minus 1 sin hx into cos 2x. Now, up till now we have taken the formulas in shortcut method in which we have a single term or we have the product of e raised to x into v. But here we are having two functions. Okay, here this is a general sine cos function, and this is a hyperbolic function. And we know that there are formulas of hyperbolic function in terms of exponential. And the formula for sin hx is e raised to x minus e raised to minus x by 2. Okay, formula for hyperbolic function is e raised to x minus e raised to minus x by 2 into cos 2x as it is. And now you take 1 by 2 outside, e raised to x into cos 2x, e raised to minus x into cos 2x. For this product, you can use e raised to x into v rule. Take e raised to x outside, replace d by d plus 1. Here a is 1. And for e raised to minus x into cos 2x, take e raised to minus x outside, and wherever d is there, replace it by d minus 1. Okay, so use multiply cos 2x inside and separate them by using e raised to x into v rule. Taking e raised to x outside, replacing d by d plus 1. Coefficient of x is 1. It is d plus 1 square minus 1 as it is, cos 2x minus taking e raised to minus x outside, replacing d by d minus 1 square minus 1 into cos 2x. Simplify it, open the bracket, d square plus 2d plus 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1 get cancelled, d square minus 2d plus 1 minus 1, 1 get cancelled. Okay, we get this, correct? Now, what we do for cos term? We know what is the shortcut method for cos term. Wherever there is a d square, replace it by minus a square. So we have to replace d square by minus 2 square. That is minus 4 plus 2d. That is non-zero, so no problem. Here we have to replace minus 2 square minus 2d. Again, that is a non-zero term, so no problem. Replace d square by minus 2 square. Same for this. It becomes minus 2 square is minus 4 plus 2d. No substitution for single d for cos term. So keeping single d terms as it is. This will be minus 4, d terms as it is. Now, if we get single d and some constant terms, then to get d square over here, we have to do rationalization. Okay, or otherwise you can use general method, but general method is not convenient. It will be a complicated method. So better way is do rationalization. For that, to simplify it, you can take 2 common. From this you take minus 2 common, minus minus it become plus, and then this become 1 by 4 by taking 2 common, and then doing rationalization. Even if you take 2 common, it becomes d minus 2, and if you take minus 2 common, it becomes d plus 2. So here multiply and divide by d plus 2, and for d plus 2, multiply and divide by d minus 2. Okay, this is the rationalization we are doing. Simplify it. Simplify it, just multiply these two brackets. So it becomes d plus 2 upon d square minus 4. Product of x minus y, x plus y is x square minus y square. Same thing over here. And now replace d square by minus a square. So it becomes minus 2 square minus 4. That is minus 4 minus 4, non-zero. Minus 2 square minus 4, non-zero. So no problem. You can do the replacement and multiply this cos term inside. D cos 2x plus 2 cos 2x, d cos 2x minus 2 cos 2x, divided by minus 2 square minus 4, minus 2 square minus 4. And d means derivative. So find the derivative of these terms. Derivative of cos 2x is minus 2 sin 2x, same thing here. And if you want, you can further simplify it by collecting cos term together, sin terms together. Okay, just collecting the terms together. and this is nothing but hyperbolic. You can keep this answer as it is, or if you want to further simplification, this is nothing but hyperbolic cos, and this is nothing but hyperbolic sine. So that gives us the answer c1 e raised to x plus c2 e raised to minus x plus 1 by 8 into sine 2x into cos hx minus cos 2x into sine hx. So this is how we can use the shortcut method for e raised to x into v, product of two terms in which one of the term is e. Shortcut method for the next term, that is x into v, where v is any function of x. Okay, then the formula for shortcut method is 1 upon phi of d x into v is equal to x minus phi dash d upon phi of d into 1 upon phi of d applied it on v. Okay, generally v is either e raised to ax or sine or cos term, and then by using the corresponding shortcut method for this part and simplifying the terms, we can get the answer. Okay, so whenever we have a product of two terms in which one of the term is x and v is any other function, then we can use this shortcut method. Actually, there are some limitations for using this method. Now, what are the limitations? The in total term, in this total function, the power of x must be 1. Okay, because what happened if you are having suppose x square into sine, then we can write x square as x into x sine, but in that case the power of total power of x in the total term is not 1, so we cannot write in that form. So in total function the power of x must be 1. Okay, we doesn't have to get x by splitting the function. Okay, by splitting the function we can get single x, but we doesn't have to get such x. Okay, in total function the power of x must be 1, and 1 upon phi of dv is not a case of failure. Now, what is a case of failure? Case of failure means if you are having suppose here e raised to ax, v is a function e raised to ax, then what we do for e raised to ax by shortcut method, we replace d by a, and if it is non-zero we get the solution. If it becomes 0, then we take a derivative. Okay, and then we simplify. But when it becomes 0, that we call as a case of failure. Or if you are having sine ax plus b, then we replace d square by minus a square. Okay, if it is non-zero. If it becomes 0, that is called as a case of failure. So by using the corresponding shortcut method for this function, if this denominator become 0, then that we call as a case of failure, and we should not have that case. Then only we can use this formula for x into v. Okay, now I'll take a problem, then you understand how to use this formula. Carefully remember this standard formula, and by which we can easily solve the problem. So consider the problem on this. Solve d square plus 3y is equal to x cos 2x. Okay, again method is same. Y will be yc plus yp, complementary function plus particular integral. For finding yc, consider the auxiliary equation. And what is auxiliary equation? Just take all this term in bracket, equate it to 0. Okay, so d square plus 3 is equal to 0. Now find roots of this equation. D square plus 3 equal to 0 means d square equal to minus 3. And when we take a square root, d become plus or minus square root of minus 3. And plus or minus square root of minus 3 is nothing but root 3i, because square root of negative number is imaginary. It is complex number. Okay, so square root of minus 3 is nothing but root 3i. And when we take square root, we always take plus or minus. And which type of roots are these? These are imaginary distinct root. Alpha plus or minus I beta. Alpha is 0 and beta is root 3. Okay, so you use the standard formula of imaginary distinct root. So take alpha as 0, so it is e raised to alpha x, that is e raised to 0x. E raised to 0 is 1, so that term get cancelled, means that term will be 1. No need to write that. C1 into cos beta, beta is root 3. It is C1 cos root 3x plus C2 sin root 3x. Okay, so properly get the roots, check the nature of roots, and use the standard formula for that corresponding roots. That gives us the complementary function. Now go for particular integral yp, it is equal to 1 upon d square plus 3 x cos 2x. Okay. Now the same problem you can solve by using general method, split it into two parts, use d upon 1 upon d plus m or d minus m and simplify, but that is very lengthy process. Okay, so we'll check, can we use a shortcut method? If you have only cos term, then we know the formula for shortcut method. If we have only x, that is x raised to 1, x raised to m, we can use the shortcut method. But here we are having the product of two terms. And just now we have discussed the formula for x into v. But for that, we have to check two conditions. What are that conditions? In total term, the power of x must be 1. And you can see there is no other x term over here, only single x is there. Okay, so power of x is 1, so no problem with the first condition. And without x, if we remove x term, then 1 upon d square plus b cos 2x should not be a case of failure. Now what is the case of failure? What we do for cos term? We replace d square by minus a square. That will be minus 2 square plus 3. Whether it is 0? No, it is not 0. So it is not a case of failure. If it becomes 0 after doing replacement, if we remove this x and if we check the condition for only cos 2x, then by using the corresponding shortcut method, replacing d square by minus 2 square, we get a non-zero term. So it is not a case of failure. If it becomes 0, it is a case of failure. And in that case, we cannot use that rule x into v. We have to apply some different method. Okay, so here we can use that rule. Take this as phi of d, take this x, take all this function as v. Okay, so we get x minus phi dash, derivative of this term, and derivative of this term is 2d divided by phi of d, that is all this term, into 1 upon phi of d v. Here v is cos 2x. Okay, now simplify this further. What we do for cos ax plus b, a is 2, b is 0. For cos ax plus b, wherever d square is there, we replace it by minus a square. We use the corresponding shortcut method for this. Okay, so there is no substitution for d, so d terms, keep it as it is. Replace these d square and this d square by minus 2 square. So it become x minus, keep 2d as it is, replacing d square by minus 2 square, that will be minus 4. Already I told you that while substituting, we have to take a square of this with negative sign. So it is minus of 2 square, that will be minus 4 plus 3 as it is, 1 upon minus 4 plus 3 cos 2x. Okay, minus 4 plus 3 is minus 1. This minus become plus. This minus, you can take it outside and multiply cos 2x to each term. Okay, simplify this further, taking cos term inside. So this minus we take here, we get minus x into cos 2x. This minus, and this minus, 3 negative terms. Okay, so it becomes negative 2d cos 2x. And d is nothing but derivative. So find derivative of cos 2x. 1 by d stands for integration, but single d in the numerator, it stands for derivative. Find the derivative of this. Derivative of cos 2x is minus sin 2x into derivative of 2x, that is 2. So it is minus 2 sin 2x. Minus 2 into minus 2 become plus 4. Okay, so minus x cos 2x plus 4 sin 2x. And add this yc and yp, that gives us the solution. So yc is y will be equal to, this is y is equal to c1 cos root 3x plus c2 sin root 3x minus x cos 2x plus 4 sin 2x. Okay, so this is how we can get the solution if we are having the product of two terms in which we have a single x. And the formula is x minus phi dash upon phi of d into 1 upon phi of d v. And then use the corresponding previous formulas of shortcut method over here and simplify it. Okay, so in shortcut method, we saw the formulas for e raised to ax, sin or cos ax plus b, x raised to m, then e raised to x into v and x into v. Then using the proper formulas for the corresponding function, we can get YP part, that is a particular integral in in shortcut method. So that was the second method to find a particular integral.